Okay, so till third point of this keyword we have covered. Okay, so this can be used to invoke the current class constructor. So we have done this part in the previous class. Now the fourth point. Okay, so fourth point is what? This can be used to pass an argument in the method call. Okay, so this keyword can be used to call an argument. Okay, so suppose we are passing some argument in our there are two methods. Okay, M1 method and M2 method. Okay, and when we wanted to pass an argument, suppose we are passing um, a argument like a method call. Okay, this is a test class, and the same method call we are passing the here. We can do that also. Okay, passing the parameter test t. Okay, this is like an object test t of a class. Okay, now we are passing this passing the argument, and then what we are doing, we are calling this method in the another method, and with the help of argument like this. We don't want to pass the value here. We just wanted to pass this, and whatever is written here in this M1 method will be called here. Okay, and the same thing we are only calling in the main method. We are only calling the M2 method. Okay, I will tell you in practical also how to do that. Just a second. And open it. Okay. Anybody understood that what we are trying to do?
Yes, you are calling method with the help of this.
Yes.
But the object which we created in the program, that is t, and you are calling test t in the method M1. So we can take
This
the
is
class. Yes.
This is a class name. Yeah, that we can do. That is what I'm telling you. Like how we'll do it. Go ahead, M2. This is M2. Okay.
Yeah.
This is M2 method. And what we are doing is, okay, we don't want this. We are just calling this method. Correct? M1 with the, because what we are doing, we are passing an argument. So if we call like this, it will give you error. Right? If we call like this, it will give error. Why? Because it has some argument. Right? Method M1 is in the type test is not applicable for the argument. So we have to write some argument inside this. Okay, so we can write this. This is the keyword. Okay, and in the main method, oh, I'm not written the main method. deleted the main method. Yeah, no problem. Okay. In that, what I'm doing, I'm just creating one object instance, and I'm calling this M2 method. Okay. T dot Is that clear to everyone what I'm doing? Then what will happen? Tell me, what will be the output of this?
We are in method M1 method.
Correct. Correct. We are in M1 method. Okay. Something else. No. Let it be. Okay, so this is also the one of the use of this keyword. Okay, like if we are passing any argument of if we are passing an argument in the method call, we can call that with the help of this keyword. Is that clear to everyone? So this is the one of the use of this. Oh yeah, anyone was asking something?
Yes. So what is the test T that you passed as a parameter in the method one, like M1?
This is the object which we are passing. We will learn about.
Is this the same object that we created in the main method?
Yes, this is the object, like test T object we have created, right?
So, for example, why it didn't give you an error because it was not here before? Like you create. I mean, should we create the object first in the main method and then pass it as a parameter in the first method, or it's okay if we do it? Because
no,
here,
I didn't get your question.
So here you passed the parameter first, like test T, then you created the object.
You have created one object, okay, and the object can be passed through this keyword with as an argument. Okay, this is an passing parameter. This is not an proper object you have created. This is just an argument which you are passing, and this is one of the way. I mean, when you go ahead, I will tell you that what is object, what is how you can pass these objects. So all these things you will learn.
Okay.
Yeah. Slowly you will learn all these things. Okay. This is how you can pass the object, and that method call can be done with the help of this keyword. Okay. So this is just a just a hats on to what all this keyword can be used. Okay. Just take it as it is, and then you will be learning everything. Okay. If you don't understand also, just understand what I am telling, then later point of time we are using that, then you will understand that what I was telling this time. Okay. Fine. Next use is this can be used to pass as an argument in the constructor class. Okay, suppose there is one test class and there is one test demo. Okay. Now test demo is the main class. Okay, and here we are using the main method. That's why it is a main class. So test demo should be the name of your class. In that class, what you are doing is you are creating one more same method, same object you are creating. Okay, what we have created before. And then what will happen is inside this, there is one method. Okay, and here you are creating an object. Okay, we are creating an object of this class. Okay, so this is two different classes, and we are creating an object of this class. And what we are doing, we are calling this constructor. Okay, what we are doing, this can be used to pass as an argument in the constructor class. Okay, what is this? This is a constructor class. Why? Because it has the same name and it doesn't have any return value. So this is a constructor. Fine. So in this constructor, what we are passing as a parameter, we are passing some another class object. Okay, and with the help of this, how we can call this constructor? How we can call this constructor as a okay. We have created, but we don't want to use that. Sorry. Okay, we have created one. We have created one object of this class in the method 1, which is inside the test demo. Okay, and inside the main method, what we are doing, we are creating the another object of this class, and we are calling the M1 method. Okay, we'll see this, what will happen.
Chavi, I have a question. Like every time you said like we should create the object in the public static void main. Inside that,
it's not compulsory. It's not compulsory. That's what we are telling. Always you cannot. You can create an object anywhere, in any method, but by default what we are to do is we have to call any method of any class, then we have to create a object. Are you getting my point? If we want to call any method of, suppose we wanted to call this suppose we wanted to call this constructor in some of our method, then what we have to do, we have to create one object of this class. Okay, then only we can access this method. Okay, or any constructor, anything. Wait, I will show you with practical. If you have any doubt, you can ask me.
Sure.
Okay. What we are doing, we are creating one new class with a test demo. Okay, test demo, and we are including main method here. Okay. Now what we are gonna do is, there is one more class here. We are not writing public, we are just writing class test1. Okay, we are writing one. Why? Because we have already created one test class. Inside that, what we are doing, we are writing one constructor. This is a constructor. Inside this constructor, we are calling this one, this class object. Okay, TD. This is a constructor. See, it is giving error unless until we have created an object. Unless until we have not created.
Teacher, you should put test1 because you put only test. That's why.
Oh, sorry, yeah, test1. But that's why it is giving error. Okay, this is a constructor. And now what we are going to do is, here we will create one object of the same name. Okay. New. Okay, we have created one object. Now inside this, we are creating one method also. Okay, that is a void M1 method. Inside that, we are calling this one, this E equal to new. Okay. Now, in this we are passing this keyword. Okay, instead of calling this, we can use this keyword. Okay, this. Clear? Now what we want to do is we want to call this method, M1 method here. PD dot M1 should come. Yeah, it is coming. See, always see that whether this method is coming automatically or not. If it is not coming, then there's something problem. Okay. Okay. Just a warning. They have not written anything. What will happen? S5 SO. Anything? Okay. So now what we are doing here is we are just calling this with the help of this keyword, we are calling this constructor. Okay. And we are printing whatever is there in the constructor. It is not necessary that you create an object only in main method. You can create an object anywhere. If I said that you can create only in main method, then might be I'm not correct. So this is I don't think so I have said that, but yeah, mainly you create object in the main method, but you can create anywhere. Okay. So any doubt in this program? Whatever we are doing, we are just
So here we created 2 classes, right? Test 1 and test demo. And then yes, in the test 1, we created a constructor, and then inside the constructor, we passed the second class as a parameter. So here, test demo, we passed it as a parameter here, like test 1 in the constructor.
Yes. So test demo, we are passing as a parameter. Okay. So this is a parameter we are passing here in the constructor, and we are calling this this constructor with the help of this keyword.
Okay.
Calling the constructor with the help of this keyword.
Okay. Yeah. Good.
Calling the constructor here. Okay. With the help of this keyword. Okay. How this is the way we can call. Okay, this is just a use of this keyword, that by this way we can call the constructor, or no, we have seen that the other methods also we can call. Okay, this is the constructor, so we are calling the constructor. Is that okay? Is that clear that this can be used to pass as an argument in the constructor class? Okay, so this is a constructor class, and we are passing the argument here, and we are calling here with the help of this keyword.
So instead of this, we can use super as well, because here we are calling the constructor. So super can also be used to call the constructor, or not?
I don't think so. No, super is not possible.
I think super, you can use it only when you're inheriting from the parent class.
Super actually, no, I have to check that. I will check it and tell you. Like super keyword can be used in the same class, I think. I have to check. Okay.
Sure. Because it was mentioned first was for like parent child class, they can use super, and after it was mentioned for calling method as well as for calling constructor as well. So I just asked.
once we do the inheritance, no, like
Yes.
parent child, that after
Yeah.
that, yeah, we
Then
will,
yeah, when you use the super, it's gonna call the
because
constructor automatically.
because here we are not extending the
True.
extending the test one class here, so that's why you cannot use it. So here, if it is not inheritance also, then also we can use this keyword. Okay.
Okay.
So after you remind me that if you want to know about the super keyword in detail, like we have done with for this keyword, then after inheritance we can learn about the super keyword. Okay.
Okay.
Super keyword generally is used when there is like a parent class and then there is a child class, and both they have method with the same name. So to eliminate the confusion between the methods, so we use super to refer to the super class, and then to differentiate from the child class.
Correct.
Okay,
So
the main key means the main basic things for super is to inheritance should be there. Then only the method or the constructor can be called. Am I right?
I think so. I think so, but I have to check that.
Okay.
I have to check that. Okay.
Yeah.
We will do one separate class for super keyword, because super keyword is also very important interview question sometimes asked by the interviewer. So this and super keyword have a similar use, but this as this keyword we have used we have understood in detail. So same thing is for super keyword also. We will take one separate class for that after inheritance, and then we will it will be more clear, Okay. So till now you are clear with this fifth point. So this last point is last point for this is this can be used to return the current class instance from the method. Okay. For example, we have created one test demo class. In that test demo class, we are having this return type as test demo. Okay, the class instance variable. Okay, so like instead of void, there is no void here. It has a return type of the same class name. Okay, this is the return type. Now we can return this. So this keyword can be used to return the current class instance. So this is the way of returning current class instance. Okay, and then again we are creating one object and we are calling this method. Okay, so there's no output. If we write something here, it will return it. Okay, but no output will be coming. So I'll just tell you how to write this program. But if we do some calculation, then it will return some value. If we don't do this, because there is no value here, so it is not returning it, but how it is using that I can tell you. Okay. So this is the main method is in here only. Test demo. So there is one M1 method which has a return type as test demo. Okay, and then what will happen is we can return this. Right? We can return this. Okay, there is no error. See, there is no error because we can return as return type will be test demo. Okay, and test demo is the name of the class instance. Okay, so you see, you can use it like this also. Okay, that is the last use of this keyword. Moving further, we have learned this access modifier. Okay, so access modifiers are what? Public, private, protected, default. All these are access modifiers. there are non-access modifiers also. Okay, so these are all non-access modifier. Okay, so one of the most important non-access modifier is what is non-access modifier? Anyone can tell what is non-access modifier? Which you cannot access without using this same keyword. Okay, like static. We will learn static keyword now in detail. Okay, so the static keyword is what? Static keyword is a keyword which if you put it in variables, or if you put it in the method, that cannot be accessed without your permission. Okay, that is the permission given only by you, then only anyone can access it. Okay, so we will learn about the static keyword in detail now. So static keyword can be used in variable and class level variable, not the local variable. Okay, like instance variable only. If you are trying to write it in local variable, it won't be allowed you to write it. It will give you error. Okay. We can use the static. Yes.
I thought static, it's like it's going to be shareable and within the class, like.
Yeah, within the class you can share it. Okay, but they are called as non-access modifier.
Oh, okay.
Okay, but they are called as non-access modifier because if you are trying to use the static variable in non-static class, it will give you error. Okay, we will learn about it. Like if you try to use your static variable or static method in some non-static method, if you're try to calling the static method in a non-static method, then it will give you error. Okay, so that is why it is called as non-access modifier, because you cannot access it unless you have that much, unless you are also static. Okay, so that's why it is called as non-static. You will learn it. We will learn this thing in detail. Okay, but right now there are you can use this static keyword in 4 ways. Okay, in the variable, method, blocks, and inner classes or nested class. Okay. Now there's one simple example. If we place static keyword in any of the variable, it becomes the static variable. Okay. Suppose we have a class test, and here we are using, this is an instance variable. Okay. So integer a equal to 10. So this become a static. Okay. If we write inside this, it will give you error. It is not valid. We will see it in practical what we are doing. We'll just create one static program. Okay? We'll just make a static class. Static example. Okay. So in that static, if we try to create an instance variable, right? So integer a equal to 10. This is a normal integer. Okay. Now if I put here static, it will become a static variable. Okay. Here you can, if you use it, it will give you no error because it's the main method is always static. But one method, suppose m1 m1. Inside that, if I try to use it, a equal to 15, suppose. So what I'm going to do is, okay, this will, okay, static, if I write static equal to 10. So it is giving you error. What error it is giving? Multiple marker at this line, illegal modifier. Okay, so this is an illegal modifier. Okay. If I don't use it, yeah, if I don't put static, I can use it. So it should be a static method, no? Okay, variables, I think you can use it, but method you cannot use it. Suppose if it is an static variable, you can use it in your inside the class. Okay, but if you put it static, then it is wrong. It's giving you error. Okay. A cannot resolve to a type illegal modifier. Okay, so multiple, what you say, you cannot use static variable inside the method. Okay, so you cannot use an static variable inside the method. Integer A. Right? Yeah, so you cannot use it. If you don't put this one, then you can use it. Is that clear to everyone? That you cannot use static variable inside the method. It's always a instance variable. Static variable can only be global or instance variable. Okay.
You mean static variable because we call them also class variable because they belong to the class. And when we need to use them, we don't need to instantiate an object of that class. That's
correct.
why, yeah.
That's the correct thing. Okay, that's the correct understanding. Okay, moving further. These are the characteristics of static variable. Class level, oh sorry. So class level variable are only static variables. Correct? We've just learned that. Static variable can directly access through class. Now what this mean? Class static variable can be directly accessed through class.
It means without an object.
Correct. That's the correct thing. If we have written a static variable a equal to 10, suppose, okay, and there is one suppose there is one another class inside that, okay. Suppose there is one class, suppose class name is S2. Okay, here I have created one static variable, static integer a equal to 10. Okay, so let's be small. Okay, and inside this another class, okay, I have created one I'm calling, I want to call this static variable inside my another class, okay, which is a static example. There is some another class and I want to call this variable to some other class. Can I do it? Like I just have to write test the name of the class dot, see it is coming A. Because it's a static variable, I can call it directly. Okay. Is that clear to you? Because it's a static variable, I call this variable directly here. Okay. And if I run it, it will give me the value 10. Okay. So this is the way the static variable can directly access through class. Okay. So if it is a variable of a class, then you can access it with the help of that class name. Okay. Clear? Next point is static variable belong to the class, not object. Okay. So you don't need to create a object for that variable. Okay. You don't need to call it by, creating an object. You can directly call it by a class name. Is that clear? Any doubt? Okay, 3 points. These 3 points are clear. Any doubt you can ask me. Yeah. So static variable belong to the class, not the object. So this is really an important interview question. Like static variables, there are so many questions you can get in interview, that what is static variable, how it is used, how it belongs to. So this is a very important topic. Okay. We don't need to create an object if we are using a static variable. I've just told you that we don't need to create any object and call it by that object. We just need a class and then we can call it. Okay? So we don't need to create an object if we want to use the static variable. Okay. So the main use of static variable is memory management. Yeah, now this is the important topic, that why we are using the static keyword in those variables. Okay, so why we are doing it? Because it's because of the memory management. By using the static variable, memory can be saved, and like your project or whatever software you are creating, it becomes more efficient. Okay, so that is why we use the static variable. Okay, static variable allocate the memory only once and only at the time of class loading. Okay, so we will learn this in detail, like how we can save the memory and how we can increase our efficiency of the project by using the static variable. Okay. Now, what we need to do is we need to create we'll create one object if we are using this. We don't need to create an object if we are using a static variable. Okay, this point is clear. Now we are coming to this point. This point we have to understand that how it is helping in memory management. Okay, so what we will do, we'll create one more class of employee. Okay, we will create a class of name employee. Have I created employee? Yeah, we have created, right? Okay. I will create in this package. Okay, we have created the class of employee, and inside that what I am doing is I'm creating integer employee ID name and string. Okay. Only two things right now I will do. Now the same thing, I think we have already done that part in the employee. We'll do that again. Okay, first what I will tell you that how it is allocated. Okay, if we make that, this is the employee ID and name we are creating. So what will happen is, if I create one object, it will store this. What I will do? What I have to do it? Anyone can tell? We have to create a constructor, right? We have learned that in the previous classes. What we have to do, we have to create a constructor of this name, and then we have to initialize all these things, right? Correct?
Yeah, and pass the parameter as well.
Correct. We have to pass the parameter of same
Name and
whatever we have. Yeah, correct. And with the help of this keyword, we are gonna
initialize both. So
correct. Yes. So you understood that what I'm trying to. Name. And inside that, what I have to do? Tell me. This dot.
This dot employee ID equal to employee ID.
Correct. Correct. Very good. And then
this dot name.
Name. Correct. Equal to name. This is clear to everyone? Now
yes.
What we are gonna do is
create the object.
We are creating an object. Correct. Employee. Can anyone tell why I've created this employee in the different package? I've created this in the different package. Why?
Because they have same name.
Yeah, correct. So it has the same name, so it will be difficult for me to. Either I can change the employee equal to employee 1, or I have to create if I want to create the same name, then I have to use a different package. Otherwise, it will give me the error, right? It's giving me error. Why? Because I'm not passing any parameter. Now I have to pass the parameter. Suppose I will pass, this is integer only. I have to pass 101, something like that. And then name of any name I will write. Then employee ID, suppose 102, and name, suppose ABC. Okay, that I'm passing. Now what will happen? It will store this value here. It will pass this value here, and then what will happen? It will give it to the instance variable. Correct? And if I wanted to print it, I can print it. Okay, so this becomes the easy thing. Okay, so what is common there is, there is nothing common here. But if I write one more thing, suppose I wanted to write the company name. Okay, company. Okay, company. So company is common for all these things, right? Company is common for all the employees. Suppose I have written here 10 employees. So if I write same thing like this dot company equal to, suppose I said string, so suppose I said Guru Schools. Okay, Guru Schools is my company name. Okay, so what I have to pass here, I have to pass the string here again. Okay. And I have to write here the company, right? So this is the third thing I have to write here. Sorry, what I'm doing. I have to write here company. Okay, here I have to write company. And then what I have to do, I have to write here Guru Schools. Okay, and this thing I have to pass to everywhere. Okay, and if I want to print it, what I have to do? SYS. Okay, then E1 dot
employee
ID plus
space.
Okay, then plus E1 dot
name,
correct,
plus space, plus
then E1 dot company. So this is the way we have to write it again and again if we have to, if we have multiple employees, right? So for this E2, correct? So this is the way we have to do it. If we run it, it will work. Okay, so all your employee ID, name and company name. So if I have suppose 10 employees, then I have to write it 10 times. But are you thinking that this is a redundant thing, right? Guru School is, we are writing it all the time because company is same, right? For all the employees, company is same. Then if we are writing it again and again, it will become a tedious job, right? So what we are doing here, this is a stack memory. Okay, so E1, E2, E3, all those things are like a stack memory. It's an object which we have created. And this is a heap memory. Heap memory is where you are storing all your instance variable, whichever variable is there in the E1. Okay. Now we have to create one area of our company, which is the common area. Okay. And that is called as, we want to make this static. And so that we don't need to write it again and again about this Guru Schools. Why? Because the company name is same. So what we are going to do is, we are writing the company name here. Okay. Okay, so we don't need to write it again and again here in the employee ID. All the time we don't need to write it. So what we will do it, we will make this as static. Sorry, not here. Okay. So here we have to make it this, we are making it static. Static string company equal to Guru Schools. Okay, here we are writing not here. See, it should always be small when you are writing your variables. Then variable should always be small. Okay. So this is a static variable passing the value which is common for all the employees. Okay. So this is if we make this static, we don't need to we don't need to create an this thing we don't need to create. Okay, this is not required to initialize it. Why? Because we have given the value here. We have given this value, and we just has to, okay, for display, I have created one more method for display. So what we are doing is we just need to display here, and then, okay, we are calling this display method again and again. That also we can do it, right? So the main point is, if we make this static, this variable as static, what we can do is we don't need to initialize it. We just have initializes two things, and then in the display, we can just write it down. Okay. Like that. We don't need this thing. We just, if we make this static, we have learned that what we can call it directly, correct?
And also we don't need to pass it like as a parameter in the third, like in the employee method.
Correct. We don't need to pass this as a parameter. That's true. Because we are not creating this dot company equal to company. So we don't need that. Only parameters we have to pass. No? It's not required. We just don't need that thing also. See, we have reduced our work, right? So many work we have reduced by just making this as static. Okay, we have just called it directly, and then we are good. So that is called as memory management, which we are learning in that this point, right? Here, the main use of static variable is memory management, and by using static variable, memory can be saved and it will become more efficient, right? So we have reduced so much work of writing all the time this company name, okay, initializing the company name. Instead, we have just declare it in static. We declare it static, and then we can call it. Okay. So is that clear to everyone? If I execute this, it will give you the same thing. It will give you the same output, but reduced our so much of work. Okay. Is this point clear to everyone? So here what I have done, I have just created one more method, which is display method. And then you don't need to write this also again and again, the output.println. Only one time when you write it and you're calling it, you have created a object, different objects, and you can call it e1.display, e2.display. So it will give you the same output. Okay, you can try it by yourself. Okay, I will give you this PPT, then you can try it. Okay, so is that clear to everyone? Any doubt in this program? So what will happen is it also increase the speed of the software. Okay, the static, if we use the static variable also help in increasing the value, increasing the speed of your software. Okay, static variable allocates memory at the, now we have to learn static variable allocates the memory only once and only at the time of class loading. So this is the point which is remaining. So this point is clear, how it is helping in memory management? Clear to everyone? Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Now we will see that. Now we will see that how it is helping or how it is, how this static variable allocates the memory only once. Okay. So yeah, for this we are creating some counter demo. Okay, there is one class counter demo, and there is one integer count equal to 0. Okay, so and this is a constructor. Okay, so this is a constructor, counter demo constructor, in which we are incrementing the value of a counter and then printing it. Okay, so this is a simple program. And what we are doing is, as it's a constructor, we don't need to create any object. We can directly, we don't need to call this constructor. If we create an object, it will call automatically, right? We don't need to say that C1 dot constructor will call automatically. So we'll write this program and then we make this counter as static. Then we will see what will happen. Okay. So suppose I've created one class which is counter demo. Okay. Main method. Okay. So here, what we are doing, we are creating an integer count equal to 0. Okay. This is the instance variable. Okay. Inside the main method, what we are doing, we are creating one object. Okay. Of C1 equal to new. Okay. Then again C2 equal to C3. Okay. We have just created three object. Okay. And what we are doing here, we have to make one constructor. Okay. We forgot to make the constructor. So just make a constructor. Here we are doing count plus plus. Okay, we are incrementing the count and we are just printing the value of the count. Okay, so we are just printing the value of the count. So what will happen here if I execute the program? It will give the 111. Okay. Okay, so it will give the 111. When we create an object, and we object and of const count, which we call and give the value, it will, what will happen? It will just increment it and then print it. Okay, so again it will become 0 and then print it. Okay, so C1 we have created, C2, C3. Okay, so these are the object which we have created, and we are calling this this counter constructor all the time. So suppose if you want to know that how many times we have created the object, then what we can do it? What we can do here? Here we can make this as static. Okay, if we make this as static, only by writing the static variable here, and if we run again, then what will happen? See, it will It will tell you the number of times you have created your object. Is that clear to everyone? Why? Because the static variable allocate the memory only once. Okay, so once the counter is 0, it will be 0. It will be 0, and then next time also it won't be 0. It will save that value. Okay, it will save the value of 1 if you increase it. Okay, and then once you created the object, it will give you the value 1. And again, if you created the object, it will save the value 1 and then again increment it. Okay, if you make this static. Okay, then once you increment it, it will become 2. Then again, if you create an object, it will become 3. So what is the use of this? We can count the number of times, how many times we have created the object. Okay, so we can create as many number of times, and then we make this static. We can count the number of times, how many times we have created the object. Okay, so this is the static variable allocates the memory only once and only at the time of class loading. Okay, so once you load your class here, it will allocate the memory and store it. Okay, and if you give the if you again run this constructor, it will again increment and store it and print it. Is that clear to everyone?
Yes, but one in the beginning when you run your test and it just says like one, it print just 1, 1, 1. What did it print?
It was just changing the value, like it is not storing the value. It will again put it you in 0. Okay, why? Because it's a normal integer, right? The count is a normal integer that time. So what will happen is it again assign it to 0. Okay, once you are executing, suppose you are executing this count, this object once, right? Once you have created this C1 object and you are calling this constructor, right? Here you are calling the constructor. This is a constructor, correct? It's a no argument constructor, right? We have studied in the last class, no argument constructor, right? So we are calling this constructor by creating an object. And once you create an object, the constructor called by itself, right? We have learned this in last class.
Right, yes.
When you create an object, the constructor call by itself. You don't need to call it, right? So what will happen here is you are calling this constructor, and first the constructor is incremented. Yani constructor is incremented by 1, and then it is printing. Okay, so what it is printing? The value of counter is 0, and it is printing and it is incrementing 1, and it is printing which is 1 value, right? The counter value is now 1, so it is printing 1. Then again, when you call the second constructor C2, then again the value of counter is 0. Okay, it will not store 1 value. The value is now vanished, and again it will be 0, and then you are doing the same thing in all these 3 constructor. But if you want to know that how many times you have run your constructor or created your object, then you make this as static. If you make this as static, you will understand that how many times you have created the object. Is that clear to everyone?
Yes.
Or any doubt you can ask me. Okay, so this is all the use of static variables. So variables we are done. Now we'll go to the static method. Okay, so we have learned everything about the static variable. Static variable is done. Now coming to the static method. Okay, so in any method, if you write a static keyword here, it will become a static method. Okay, now static method belongs to the class, not the object again. Okay, so static method is always in the class. We don't need to create an object for this. Okay, we don't need to create an object. You can just call it like that. Okay, I will show you. The static method can be called directly by class. No need to create an object. How? Suppose there is a test class where we have created these two methods. Okay, one is static and one is non-static. Okay, here what we have done, we have just printing one statement. Okay, this is a static method and this is a normal instance method. Okay, in the main method, what we are doing, we are creating one object. Okay, and we are calling this show method. Okay, but for calling this display method, we don't need any object creation. We just directly can call like test.display. We don't need that. We will see how. So the static method is used for memory management and we don't need to create an object and object allocate the memory. Okay, so that will increase your software speed. So how we can do that? Suppose we'll create one method. Test. Here we create one test method or class, sorry, test class. Okay, test. Okay, inside this, what we are doing, we are creating two methods. One is show method and one is display. Okay, so void suppose we are printing here one. Okay, and there is one more method which is static. Okay, display. The void is always there. Okay. Here we are printing two. Okay. Now suppose we wanted to create we don't want to create any object. Then what we can do, we'll just write test dot. See, these are the methods which we can use it. Okay, so display is the method which we can call directly. Can we call the show method? No, because it's not static. Okay, so we cannot call the show method like that. For that, we need to create a object. Okay, test t equal to new now t dot show will come. See, now it will come t dot show. So is that clear? First point, that static method can be called directly. We don't need the object to be created. Okay. For simple method, we need to create an object, but for static, you can call it directly with the help of class name. Okay. So static method can be called directly by class. No need to create an object. Is that point clear? And this also in any method, if you write, okay, static method belongs to class, not an object. So we don't need to create an object here. These 2 points clear? and it also helps in good. So it also helps in memory management. As we don't need to create any object, so what will happen is it allocates the memory, object allocates the memory, and it increase your software speed. Okay. Now the rules of the static method. Static method belongs to the class, not an object. We have done this. A static method can be accessed directly by the class name and does not need any object. A static method can access only static data. Okay, so this is the thing which we need to learn now. Static method can access only static data, and it cannot access non-static data. Okay, so how would we do that? Suppose there is a static data. Suppose I have written here is the class instance variable. Okay, I have written here integer I equal to 10. Okay, I'm writing here. So I can use that I equal to 20 here. Okay, it will not show me any error. But if I try to use that inside this display method, I equal to 30. Okay, suppose I'm giving 30. It is not allowing me to write it here. It is saying cannot make a static reference to a non-static field. Okay, so I cannot use the non-static variable inside a static method. Okay, it will give me error of that non-static field. You cannot use it in a static method. So I have to make this static. If I make this static, I can use it in both. Okay. See, the error is gone now. Okay. So if the static variable, I can use a non-static method also and static method also. Okay. But if it is not static, I cannot use it in static method. Is that clear? Clear to everyone? That?
Yes.
The third point, static method can access only static data. It cannot access the non-static data. Even though it's an instance variable, instance data, we cannot use it. Okay. Next point is a static method can call only other static method and cannot call non-static method. Okay. So thing is, which we have already shown, that static method can call only, suppose this is a static method, right? Main method is a static method. Or else I can show you with the help of okay. This is a static method, and yeah, see, static method can only call the static method. This actually already we have seen this. The main method is a static method, and this can call only the display method. Okay. Actually, what will happen is inside the main method, you can call the display method directly. You don't need test.display also. You can call this as this directly. We wrote the test.display now, but that is also not required. We can call this display method directly, and Can we call the show method directly? No, it will give you the error. Okay. Cannot make a static reference to a non-static method show. Okay. So if you wanted to learn what all given in this error, you should go there and then you can see that. Okay. So you cannot.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Can I write show method inside the display method?
No, that also you cannot write. See, if you wanted to call that
Okay.
show,
Got
you
it.
cannot.
Yes.
Only the static method can be called inside a static method.
Yes. If the show method static, then can.
Yeah, then it will, if I make this static, no, it will not give any error. See, here it is giving error. Cannot make a static reference to a non-static method. But as soon as I make this static, the error is gone. See, the error is gone.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome. So this is the fourth point, that static method can call only in other static method and cannot call a non-static method. Clear? This is the important point. Okay. So if I execute this, let's see what will happen. See, display is calling, and in display there is show method also. So first it is calling one and then it is calling the other. Okay. So this is how we call it. Okay. Now a static method cannot refer to this or super keyword by any way. Yeah. So in this, like this keyword which we have learned, or super keyword which we will learn later. So that cannot be used in static method. Okay. So whatever we have learned about this keyword, if it is non-static, then only we can use it. In static, we cannot use it. Okay. I will show you. Suppose there is one. Suppose there is some one more class I will create, which is a, suppose this is a class static demo. Okay. Okay. And I will not include the main method. I'll just give you the example. Okay. What will happen is, here I will create one static integer I equal to 10, okay, which is the last level. Okay. I will create one static integer I equal to 10. And there is one static method. I will create one static method also. Static void a method. Inside that, I will write this dot I. If I try to do this dot I, okay, it will give me the error. Cannot use this in a static context. Okay, if I write only I, it will not give me error. But if I write this dot I, it will give me error. Okay, so this keyword and super keyword, I cannot use it in static methods. Okay. if I wanted to write this dot I and I remove this static from both the places, then it is not giving me error. See, it is not giving me error and it will give me the output as 10. No? Okay, main method is not there now. I have to write the main method, then it will give me the output, because it is getting confused because I have not included the main method. If I include the main method, suppose main method. Okay. Then again, I have to make a, what you can say, object and then call the display method. That I can do, yes. But you understood, right, what I'm telling?
Excuse me, class name static demo.
Sorry, yeah. I have test only I was using from, that's right. E.display, right? So it is coming. Okay. So if I write like that, it will work and gives you the 10. But if I make this as static, it will not work. That's what I wanted to say. That if I make this static, both as static, then this is giving me the error. Then I don't need this keyword. I can just write it like this. Okay. Is that clear to everyone? This point, last point is a static method cannot refer to this or super keyword by any ways. Okay. So this is the last point which I wanted to tell you. These are all about the static method. Okay. Once we are started using it, it will be more clear to you. But right now, these are the things which you need to remember. Okay, now comes the static block. Okay, static block is what? What is block? Block is nothing but just as if you write static, it will be a block. Okay, I will show you how. So there is a test class. Inside the test class, we have written a static block. So what is the use of this static block? Static block is cannot called. Okay, it cannot be called. Static block execute automatically. Okay, when we have written the static block, it will execute automatically when the class is loaded in the memory. Okay. Without main method also, we can print whatever there is inside the static block. We don't need main method. Okay, so this is a very important interview question. Like this program, I cannot print anything if I don't have any main method. You saw? I cannot print anything. But as soon as I wrote the main method, I can print whatever there in the display method. Okay, so display method can be print only when we are writing the main method. But in the static block, suppose I have written I'm not writing any main method. Okay, I've just written one class. Okay, this is one class. Inside this class, I have written static block. Okay, static block is what? Just static, and then there is a block. Okay, so here I have written, inside this block I have written suppose I have written hello. Okay, there's no main method, nothing, but you can, if you execute, okay, it's giving the error. Okay, in the before the version 1.6, it was not giving error, but in the next version, it is giving error. Yeah. So what you will do, just write the main method.
This is going to work when we use the inheritance, because when you inherit the parent class, the static block will come automatically when you call that class.
Correct. Correct. That we will learn in inheritance. You are correct. You're absolutely correct. But right now, what I wanted to tell you is that static block will be executed automatically. That is the main thing which I wanted to tell you. Okay. This is main method. Okay. Okay, fine. I will writing main method. See, I have not called this static method. Okay, but static method is executed first. See, before main method, the static block, sorry, this is a, what is this? This is block. Okay, so before executing the main method, before entering into the main method, it is going to the static block, and then it will enter to the main method. It's just that it is giving error when I am not writing the main method. But if you are not like in the previous version, if you don't write the main method, then also it executes. But in the latest version, you have to write the main method. But the thing is, it first executed the block, then it executed the main method. That is the important thing. And that is important interview question. See, sometimes it happens in your project, you have to write few things for just to show, like your company name or something you wanted to show it in your output. And that is like a mandatory, you have to write it. Okay, so that time you can use such blocks. Okay, so you can use such static blocks, and you can display whatever you wanted to display, which don't need any calculation or which don't need any, anything related to, functionality. Any functionality is not needed. You just need to print it. So that time you can use your blocks. Okay. So block can be executed automatically when the class is loaded in the memory. Okay. So this is also an interview question. Without main method also, can you print something? So yeah, you can print it with the help of blocks, but in the latest version, you cannot print it. You need a main method for that. Okay. You don't need to call the static block. This is also an interview question that you can create. Also, you can create multiple blocks. There are there you can write again the static. Again, you can write one more block. Okay. So suppose you can write block 2. Okay. Then same thing. And how these blocks will be executed? Sequentially. Okay. Like suppose you are now executing it. So whatever block you have written first will be executed first. Okay. So see, hello, block 2, block 3, then main method. Okay. If you write main method before also, suppose you will write it here, your main method. still the block will be executed first. Okay? See, whatever is there, block will be executed first and then your main method. Okay. So this is how you can create the multiple static block. Okay. So these are the multiple static block. And these blocks will be executed from top to bottom. So whatever you have written first will be executed first, and then whatever you have written later, it will execute later. So what is the use of blocks? Static block is executed at the time of class loading and the type of class loading. And if you want to perform any activity, which I've told you that we have to define something or define inside it, or you want to write some method name, that these are all the method name which you have written inside the main method. So all those things, whichever information you want to give it, you can give it through these blocks. Okay. For initializing also, you can use these blocks. Okay. So this is all about the static block. Okay. So now comes the inheritance. So inheritance, which we are talking about, like how you can inherit the properties. Everyone clear with the static thing? Any doubt in this part?
Yes. Yeah.
Clear everything?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Now comes the next new topic, which is inheritance. We might not complete it fully, but we'll try whatever we can complete it. Okay. So what is inheritance? Anyone can tell what is inheritance? In a simple English language, that what is the meaning of inheritance?
It's when the child inherits the properties of a parent. Like for example, a child inherits like his dad family name, for example.
Correct. Correct. So this is the inheritance. Like you are taking properties from your parents, like some properties or some important features you are taking from your parent, that is called as inheritance. So similarly, in Java also, what you are taking is, when you are making any method or any method in a class, so what we are inheriting, we can inherit those methods from different class which you want to take from that class. Okay. So suppose there are, again I'm telling you in a real-time example. Suppose there is a class name animal and a class name dog. Okay. So these are the method available inside an animal, which is eat. Okay. And dog want to also write the same method. Then what will happen? This is not the efficient way of writing, right? So here also we are writing the same method. Here also we are writing the same method, and here also we are writing the same method. Instead, what we will do, we will inherit the property of animal in the dog class, and then we can use this method inside our method, and we just call it. Okay, with the help of object, we can call this method, or we don't need the object also. Let's see. This is, but this is not the efficient way of writing a line of code, and it increases the speed, and it is not a good way of writing. Okay. So instead, what we will do, we'll inherit the animal class property in dog class by using the extends keyword. Okay. So extends is the keyword by which we can inherit or inherit the property of another class. Okay, we'll see how. Okay, so suppose I wanted to inherit this method. Okay, so then what I will do, I will create one class dog and extend the animal class. Okay, so we are inheriting the property of animal class in dog class, and then what we will do, we will create one object and then we can call this method. Then can call animal class method by dog class object. Okay, so what we are doing, there is no method inside a dog class, correct? There is no eat method inside a dog class, but because we are inheriting, extending the animal class, we can use these method inside our dog class also. Okay, if we are creating an object of animal class, we can use this. We can use this method, but here what we are doing, we are creating an object of this class only, our class only, and inside this class there is no eat method, right? But because we are inheriting, we can use this method here. Clear to everyone? Any doubt? Too much for today's class, yeah? Not understanding? Today we have learned so much, right?
Right.
So much new things.
Yeah, right.
So too much of, so we'll take a break.
The main, excuse me, main method in the child class. Am I correct?
Sorry?
Main method inside the child class.
Yeah, you can write main in the child class also or in the parent class. That doesn't matter, but the name of the class should be when you create an class, it should be same name. I mean, where you are writing your main method. If it is under dog, that means your class name should be dog. Okay, I mean, when you are creating a class, that should be the same name where you have the main method.
Teacher, can we create like a class only for the main method? Like let's say like for the, we have like animal class, it's a parent class, and we're gonna have like subclasses like dog and whatever, and we're gonna create like a class as like, we're gonna call it like zoo, and we're gonna do the main method inside, and we just call from there. Can we do that?
We can do that. We can do that. The only thing is, which I've told you, like whatever name you are writing, inside that there is a main method. Okay, if it is not there, you cannot execute. You can write main method anywhere, wherever you want. There is no rule for that inside the child class you should have main method, or inside the parent class you can have main method. But main method should be in the should be in that method in that class which you are created the name, where you are created, right? And you are executing with the help of that particular class. Okay, am I clear my point?
Yes.
Yeah. So that is the only rule, that if you have the main method inside a dog class, you should execute the dog class, not the animal class. If you are executing the animal class, then it will not run. Okay. Am I clear? Your doubt was this only, right? Or something else? See, we have just started the inheritance. It will take time to understand, so no worries. Inheritance, we will learn it in the next class, because otherwise it will be too much of, too much of this thing. So are you clear with the static variables?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Static variables, static method, and static block. So all is very clear, right? And one more thing I want to ask you, that have you tried with this this pattern, the star pattern? This is also very important interview question. This pyramid pattern, have you tried this pyramid pattern? See, like this. This you tried?
No, I didn't try this one.
Okay.
Yes, but I didn't trust the triangle now.
Okay, just try it, and if you have any doubt, we can discuss this in the next class. Okay, I will just
Yeah, teacher, could you just explain you see here in the for loop here? I don't know, I just saw it in the like in the video. So it says like if, and it gives you like D percentage, and you know, I didn't understand what's the